recent survey, we found out that 85% of the people asked would rather give up clean water than delete all of the apps on their phone. What does this say about us? That we'll be willing to give up a basic survival source just to keep some social networks. Over 90% of 18 to 24-year-olds send text messages daily. On average, each individual sends just over 100 per day. We spoke to Simon Benson, who is a technology specialist. He gave us his views on smartphone addiction and development.
So, I know some people can sometimes think that the modern smartphone is something that's referred to as being addictive or something like that, but personally I don't think it's really should be classified as addiction. I think certainly people make a lot of use of them, but that's because they have a lot of features. If you actually broke down what people are doing on their phones, whether it be social media or gaming or using it for photography or listening to music, I think that smartphones get a bad press because they're all in one place. So you might see someone using a phone all day, but actually they might be doing many different things with it. They might be listening to music one moment, watching a video another moment, communicating another moment, and this is spread throughout the day. So if you think about what that would be like if, say, the smartphone didn't exist, they might still be spending a few hours listening to music on a stereo. They might then go and sit in front of a TV and watch TV. They might then go and play a game. Whereas the phone has actually brought this together to make it look as though they're just, totally connected to their phone all the time, but actually might be doing many, many different things. People often state that they think that smartphones are, say, antisocial because people will be sat there at the dinner table and the teenagers are just on the phones, just using the phones instead of spending family time together. But someone once said to me that when you think about it though, is when you've got such a socially connected device, you may be sat at the dinner table, you probably aren't being antisocial because you're probably choosing who you socialise with instead. You now have the power of choice. So you could be sat there having your dinner with your parents and actually you're spending all the time communicating with your friends because you just happen to want to say something to them more than you do to your parents, which is not unusual.
Here at Oxford Road Station, they recently introduced a new announcement claiming that you could not use your mobile phones on the platforms. This was mainly brought in for safety reasons, as some people would be getting dangerously close and dropping them in. This announcement may seem unnecessary. However, more people use their mobile devices on public transport more than anywhere else. It's as if they have their whole world in their back pocket. This announcement helps keep people safe and also saves them from themselves. We also spoke to Dr. Owen Thornton, who told us about the effects of smartphone addiction on young people.
My opinion on smartphones is that while they're useful and they're something that society have adopted, I don't think it's anything that society needs. And especially children don't need smartphones. Because before smartphones, we'd have 2 or 3 cases of bullying or something a month. And now it's increased, and it's not just things like bullying, it now includes things like mental disorders, so things like eating disorders, and it includes things like anxiety caused by children being able to get onto the internet more often. So smartphones being a gateway for them to get there. I don't believe there's a possibility that people are addicted to smartphones, as in there are documented cases so far of people who've had to go into rehabilitation because of addiction to smartphones. So it's something that exists, and it's only going to become more prevalent.
I also came to Mid Cheshire College to ask some of the students their thoughts on mobile phone addiction. Here's what I got. Do you own a smartphone yourself?
Yes, I do.
Yep, I do.
I do, but only for work purposes.
How long would you say you spend on it each day, or how many hours?
A few hours each day, probably 2 or 3.
Altogether about 4 hours.
Oh, not long. I mean, I'm lucky if I get an hour a day out of it.
In total, probably about 2-3 hours maybe.
What age range would you say would be most likely to own a smartphone?
Oh, these days it'd probably be the kids, wouldn't it?
14 to 18-year-olds.
I'd say 14 to 18-year-olds.
15 onwards.
Would you say mobile phones are a good thing or a bad thing?
Mobile phones are a great thing because you can keep in contact, but smartphones maybe not, because I think it's just a bit. People already spend too much time on their computers, so maybe just put it in their pocket doesn't make it any better.
After weighing up all the different pros and cons of smartphones, It's difficult to say what could truly make them addictive, whether it's the hunger for interaction on social medias or the fact that there's just so many features in one small pocket device. You can give your verdict on our Facebook page or contact us on Twitter. Back to you in the studio.